All right, I think we're still having problems with Casey's microphone. This video coming in from Galveston, Texas, and there was sort of a time in Galveston where they were beginning to get in some of the heavy vehicles before the flooding started. But there's another concern for so many of these communities. You can see right there where Galveston is on the outer edge of the Texas coastline. These communities are going to begin to get cut off and be able to get equipment in there at all. We'll check back in with Casey as soon as we're able to get him a new microphone cable.
Yeah.
His entire cabinet, and what that does is it allows the president to hear how the government's response as a whole is going and to hear how Harvey is impacting specific sectors such as transportation and energy production, as well as manufacturing. First and foremost, though, the priority for both the administration and state and local officials is to protect those and to rescue those that are in the storm's path. And this morning at Camp David, the president tried to reassure the country that the federal government is fully engaged, tweeting, "Wow, now experts are calling Harvey a once-in-500-year flood. We have an all-out effort going and going well." And as the search and rescue efforts are in high gear, the president later suggested that he may delay his trip to Texas to avoid distracting from those efforts, tweeting, "I will be going to Texas as soon as that trip can be made without causing disruption. The focus must be life and safety." And on Fox News Sunday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott praised the administration's response and said so far,
anticipating over 30,000 people being placed in shelters temporarily to basically save You could not draw this forecast up. You could not dream this forecast up. It's been a very challenging effort for the National Weather Service, who's been putting out great information. We've been telling people that this is coming. It's still ongoing, but you couldn't draw this situation up.
As I noted, Houston is in a lull right now, but we'll get back into the moderate to heavy rains later today and then into tomorrow, and we'll see how long that lasts. It all depends on that track. And there's about 15 to 20 inch rainfall still forecast associated with that max. The flooding will be very slow to recede. We are seeing catastrophic flooding, and this will likely expand and will likely persist.
everything it's asked for from the federal government.
I give FEMA a grade of A+, all the way from the president down. I've spoken to the president several times, to his cabinet members, such as Secretary of Homeland Security, such as the Administrator of FEMA, such as Tom Price, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and so all across the board, from the White House to the federal administration to FEMA.
That works great for our helicopter crews. We're working here great with the state good interagency team with the Joint Air Ground Center. We've got Air Force helicopters out there flying almost nonstop. Additionally to that, we have boats out there with our pararescue men trying to help out the same thing as you discussed earlier.
You know, I would imagine it's pretty dangerous for them just to get up to their roofs, but it's safer there than inside the house. That's the rule of thumb, right?
That is affirmative. If they're trapped up in their attic, there's almost nothing we can do because we don't know they're there. So if they can get onto that roof, then we can see them.
And when you have been, are they all sorts, young, old? How would you describe who you're rescuing?
We've had everything from baby infants to older dialysis patients today that we've been recovering and bringing back to the hospital.
Is it your sense, Colonel, that it's going to be a while before they get back to their homes?
We actually haven't been that far, but looking at the homes that are there, it probably will be a while.
Yeah, it's got to be surreal for you. I mean, you're going over territory that looks like a lake, and a massive lake at that. So how do you even know or can identify where you're going?
Well, as I said earlier, we have the Joint Air Ground Task Force and the Coast Guard running some command and control. Additionally, we have our HC-130s doing airborne command and control, and they can relay to our helicopters sectors where people have called 911, and then they also, if they don't have any calls out, they'll send us to a certain search sector to make sure all the helicopters are spread out and covering the area.
Colonel, how are you holding up? And your men and women, how are they holding up?
Oh, we're doing pretty well. We got a couple tired faces, but we've got enough crews that we can cycle them into some rest and then get them out later in the day.
What can we do? Today, FEMA is offering its full weight resources, whatever you need. Cabinet secretaries there, the governor and everyone else.
We've actually been getting great support. We're based out of College Station, the local community, the airport.
If you're trying to fly in and out of this area, it's impossible. The major airports are closed for the longest amount of time since 9/11. Downward that will be curtailed by 0.1%. It's wrong. We'll have more to this.
On April 4th, the world's largest investment bank purchased $300 million of gold for their own account. What do they know that you don't? Investors are snapping up gold. This commodity is on the verge of an epic comeback. Gold and silver, opportunity of a lifetime.
We're seeing a lot of very big, very smart money move into precious metals. They get it. They know what's coming.
Call now and get this exclusive video. See why banks, billionaires, and financial experts are buying gold.
The richest guys who know what they're talking about, like Dalio and those guys, they're shifting into gold now.
Call Lear Capital at 1-800-452-5050 for your free video and special report, Banks, Billionaires, and Plan B. First-time callers receive this revolutionary gold note. It's a 1/20th gram of pure gold pressed.
Edible arrangements for summer. Order in-store or online.
Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guaranteed.
You gain energy, you improve your health, and you lose weight. I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now. With Lean 13, you'll get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new NutriCrush bars to crush cravings free. And 1 week of turbo shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Belly fat? Got that under control too.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month. Millions of people have lost weight on Nutrisystem.
It's time to take control.
Go online or call 888-526-THIN right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
Are you thinking of buying a stair lift? This essential free guide will answer all your questions. You can find out how a stair lift can improve your life in a few easy steps with this free guide packed full of detailed information. All of your questions answered. What should I think about when buying a stair lift? What type of stair lift will suit my home? What difference can a stair lift make in my life? Answers to these and many more with this free guide to buying a stair lift. A stair lift can be crucial to you staying independent in your own home. They were invented to make your life easier, and this free practical guide, produced with the help of Acorn Stair Lifts, will make it easier for you to choose the one that's right for you. So call now, 1-800-716-8612 for your free copy of your guide to buying a stair lift, and have all of your stair lift questions answered today. 1-800-716-8612.
All right, we're moments away from hearing the President of the United States, who's with Governor Abbott right now in Texas, outlining what the latest is that he's seen on the ground as he spent the day in Texas sort of monitoring situations there with Harvey. When he speaks, we'll take you to that. Of course, this is on a tape delay basis, so of course you know the drill on that. We got a 2-minute warning, and then we'll share that tape with you. Separately, we do have some bit of good news to report here, and that's been few and far between with some of these horrific stories and rescues going on. An official says that a levee protecting a subdivision of homes in near southern northern Houston has indeed been fortified. There was concern that it was going to let go, and all of a sudden there would be a danger to those homeowners and everyone downstream. That particular levee has been reinforced and is expected to be fine. Adam Glutt's joining us right now with what's happening in the area, because Adam, I was just hearing as well that there are rains in Louisiana as we speak, right?
Yeah, Neil, this thing's moving just incredibly slowly, but folks in Louisiana now seeing more and more of it. Let me show you what's happening out there as we speak. Stretching from Houston, you see it's on the backside. This is all shifting to the east and to the north. Now stretching all the way across the Gulf Coast, actually running into portions of the Florida Panhandle. But those heavy rains continuing to lift up on the shore. Some of the heaviest rain still around the Houston area, a little farther off to the east, getting there right on the Texas-Louisiana state line. Houston maybe only going to see a couple more inches of rain. So good news, it's been a long time coming. Maybe they'll dry off before too much longer. Here's your future radar. Pay attention to your timestamp in the corner. I've now taken you to 1 a.m. on Wednesday. It has then moved out of the Houston area. Heavy rain moving into Lake Charles. This is going to lift up to the north, Shreveport, up to Little Rock, eventually to Memphis. Just lifting to the north. Finally, after days and days of very little movement, we're going to kick this thing in gear a little bit, and by the weekend, start to have it heading the right direction. How does that time out for us? Well, again, still over the Gulf of Mexico right now, but it is looking like early tomorrow beginning to run on shore, and it weakens pretty quickly, becoming a low pressure system, still a rainmaker, but no longer that tropical storm. But you see how massive it is right now. It's going to bring all that rain into the center of the country, but finally drying off some folks there along the Gulf Coast. How much more rain are we talking about? Well, pay attention to your Houston area there. Just a couple of more inches of rain, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's already saturated, so any more rain is going to be a problem. But I take you just a little farther off to the east, some spots getting up to maybe another foot of rain, and that stretches up as this thing moves to the north. It does eventually kind of run itself out of energy, but you're seeing good portions of northern Louisiana getting up to 10 inches to 12 inches of total precipitation. By the time it's all said and done, Neil, I think we're going to have a record breaker, the wettest U.S. tropical system of all time. Right now it's number 2, but I think we're going to add to this before it's all said and done, likely going to be the wettest one ever.
How do they measure that, Adam? Because I've heard that, and a lot of people say it's a record in this area, it's a record off the, but they count it by the total rain that has fallen throughout the course, and even in the waning days and the finishing days of the storm?
It goes from hurricane all the way to the remnants of the storm. So it doesn't even have to be a tropical cyclone there at the end, and it just was a tropical cyclone, and that still adds to it.
And you know, Adam, I think it was you and others who was saying that the danger with these storms, but all the stuff that we're seeing, 15 people are dead right now chancing that.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. And you just have to remember, even though we're only talking about maybe another 4 or 5 inches in the Houston area, there's nowhere for that 4 or 5 inches to go. So there could still be more flooding, and obviously the rivers, the creeks. This is going to be a problem for another month anyways.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. Do want to update you on some other developments. We were telling you about one of the levees in that neck of the woods that is going to be okay and will not be breached. That's a relief to some, homeowners who were downstream from that in the southeastern Houston area. Separately, we're getting news that 2 nuclear reactors at the South Texas Project plant, that's about 90 miles from Houston, are apparently operating at full capacity. There is no danger there, and that the power is needed. But again, these 2 nuclear reactors in South Texas are continuing to operate 90 miles from Houston, have not been affected. Separately, we've been telling you how gas prices are on the rise, up at a double-digit clip over the last 5 trading days. That will affect you no matter where you are. And then there is this brokerage industry report that's out that tries to grapple with all of this and the disruption in economic activity, refineries, the stuff, people who can't do anything. They think it's going to be 0.1% shaved off GDP. I suspect probably more than that. The President of the United States weighing in on all of that with Governor Abbott in Austin. This is from minutes ago.
Just say hello. Elaine Duke is here someplace. Elaine, fantastic job, and Brock has been incredible. And from your standpoint, Nim and the whole group have been, and Steve, I just met Steve, the job that they've done getting along. Number 1, they like each other, very, very important. And number 2, they respect each other. And the job that all of these groups have done getting along is, in terms of coordination, has been really incredible. And everyone's talking about it. The sad thing is that this is long-term. Nobody's ever seen anything this long, and nobody's ever seen this much water. You're going to be giving away many, many millions of dollars to help people out. And Tom Price, as you know, is Dr. Tom Price is You have your people in the field, Tom. In fact, you may say a couple of words, and then I'll ask Ben, and then I think we get on to Nim and